God told me to warn you about your legs. You're not aware. Your legs are... Before you scroll away, take a quiet moment with this message because something about it may speak to a place inside you that has been waiting to be understood. You may have never thought that your legs could tell a story about your journey, but every step you have taken has carried more than your body. They have carried your hope through uncertain mornings, your courage through silent battles, and your faith through seasons when nobody knew how difficult it was just to keep moving. Stay with this, because this message is not about fear or weakness. It is about recognizing something beautiful that has always been there, even if you never noticed it before. Sometimes the deepest truths are hidden inside the ordinary parts of our lives, and today your attention is being gently drawn towards something you may have overlooked for a very long time. There have been days when your legs felt tired, even though your heart wanted to continue. Perhaps you believed it was only physical exhaustion, but there are moments in life when every step reflects the emotional weight you have been carrying. You kept walking while holding disappointment that you never spoke about. You kept standing when everything around you suggested you should give up. You kept showing up for people who never realized how much strength it took just to be present. That quiet determination has become part of who you are. You rarely celebrate it because you are always looking toward the next responsibility, the next challenge, or the next person who needs you. Yet there is something deeply meaningful about the fact that you are still here, still moving, and still choosing hope over surrender, even when no one applauded your effort. Think about how often life asks you to move before you fully understand where you are going. One small decision leads to another, and suddenly an ordinary path becomes part of a much greater story. Your legs have carried you into conversations that changed your heart, into places where unexpected kindness found you, and away from moments that no longer belonged in your life. Looking back, you may notice that some closed doors quietly redirected you toward better ones. At the time it felt confusing, but now those unseen turns begin to make a little more sense. There is something important here. The journey has never been about reaching every destination quickly. It has been about becoming someone who can walk with peace even when every answer has not yet appeared. As you listen, allow yourself to see your own life with fresh eyes. Instead of focusing only on how far you still want to go, notice how far you have already come. Every step has shaped your patience. Every delay has taught you something that success alone never could. Every season of waiting has quietly strengthened the person you are becoming. The message today is simple, but deeply personal. Keep honoring your journey instead of comparing it with someone else's path. Your steps do not have to look like anyone else's to have meaning. What you are building inside yourself cannot always be measured by speed, but it can always be felt through steady progress. And what comes next may help you understand why those ordinary steps have always mattered more than you realized. A quiet realization often arrives when you least expect it, and today may be one of those moments. You have spent so much time wondering whether you were moving slowly that you forgot to notice how consistently you have been moving forward. There were seasons when every step felt heavier than the last, yet something inside you refused to stop. That quiet strength did not appear overnight. It was shaped by every disappointment you survived, every unanswered question you carried, and every morning you chose to begin again. Do not underestimate what that says about your spirit. The path beneath your feet has never been empty. It has been preparing you in ways that only become visible when you look back with gentleness instead of judgment. Stay with this, because what you are beginning to understand could change the way you see your own journey. Your legs have carried you through places where your heart was uncertain, but they never demanded that you have every answer before taking the next step. That is how growth often works. It begins quietly, long before anyone else notices. While you were waiting for a dramatic sign that your life was changing, the real transformation was happening inside your daily choices. Every act of patience, every moment of kindness, every decision to keep believing in something better was building a stronger foundation beneath you. You may have thought nothing remarkable was happening because the changes were small, but the deepest changes are rarely loud. They unfold with calm persistence, shaping your character long before they shape your circumstances. Don't miss what comes next, because this gentle truth has been waiting for you to recognize it. There is also a reason you have felt drawn to pause more often lately. It is not because you are losing momentum. It is because your heart is learning the value of moving with intention instead of rushing to satisfy every expectation around you. You no longer have to prove your worth by constantly running. There is wisdom in walking at a pace that allows you to notice beauty, appreciate quiet moments, and recognize the people who truly bring peace into your life. Every meaningful journey includes moments of stillness, not as obstacles, but as opportunities to listen more closely to your own heart. When you stop measuring yourself against everyone else's timeline, you begin to hear the quiet confidence that has always been within you. As this message settles into your heart, remember that your next step does not have to be perfect. It only needs to be honest. Trust the progress that cannot yet be seen by others. Trust the lessons that are becoming part of you even before they reveal their purpose. Every step you take with sincerity leaves behind more than footprints. It leaves behind a story of resilience, quiet faith, and steady hope. One day you will look back and realize that the moments you once questioned were the very moments that gave you the strength to become who you are today. And as you continue forward, another piece of this message is waiting to reveal why your journey has always been more meaningful than it first appeared. There is a gentle truth that many people overlook until much later in life. The way you walk through your days often reveals more than the words you speak. Your legs have never simply carried you from one place to another. They have reflected your willingness to keep believing, even when certainty was nowhere to be found. Each morning you chose to rise again. Each quiet decision to continue after disappointment, and each moment you resisted the urge to give up, became part of a story that cannot be seen from the outside. If you have ever wondered whether your quiet efforts mattered, let this be your reminder that nothing done with sincerity is ever wasted. There is something important here. The smallest faithful steps often become the foundation for the greatest personal growth. Perhaps you have noticed that some paths you once longed to follow slowly disappeared from your life. At first it felt confusing, and you questioned whether you had taken a wrong turn. But with time, you began to see that not every closed path was a loss. Some were gentle invitations to discover a direction that fit your heart more deeply. Looking back now, you can recognize moments that seemed ordinary but quietly reshaped your future. A conversation that encouraged you, a pause that gave you clarity, or an unexpected delay that protected your peace, all became meaningful in ways you could never have predicted. Growth often arrives so quietly that you only recognize it after it has already changed you. There is also something beautiful about learning to trust your own pace. The world often celebrates speed, but peace is rarely found in rushing. Your journey is not behind schedule, and it has never needed to mirror anyone else's. The strength within you has been growing through consistency rather than urgency. Every thoughtful step has been teaching you patience, humility, and quiet confidence. Those qualities may not attract immediate attention, but they create a life that feels deeply rooted instead of easily shaken. The person you are becoming is shaped far more by steady progress than by dramatic moments, and that is something worth honoring every single day. As you continue listening, allow yourself to release the pressure of believing that you must have everything figured out before moving forward. Life unfolds one step at a time, and wisdom often arrives only after the step has already been taken. Trust the quiet direction that keeps leading you toward kindness, honesty, and hope. Even when the road ahead is not completely visible, you are not walking without purpose. Your journey is unfolding with meaning that cannot always be measured in the present moment. In the next part, you will discover why the path beneath your feet has been preparing your heart for something far greater than simply reaching another destination. Sometimes the most meaningful message is not about where you are going, but about who you are becoming with every step you take. For so long, you may have believed that progress had to be dramatic before it counted, yet the quiet moments have been doing the deepest work within you. Every time you chose patience instead of frustration, every time you answered disappointment with compassion instead of bitterness, and every time you kept moving even without complete clarity, something inside you became stronger. Those changes are not always visible in a mirror, but they are written into the way you carry yourself. They are reflected in the calm that slowly replaces fear, in the wisdom that grows through experience, and in the peace that comes from trusting each new day without demanding every answer at once. If you listen closely to your own heart, you may realize that it has been gently guiding you toward a different way of living. Instead of chasing every opportunity, you are beginning to value what truly aligns with your spirit. Instead of trying to impress everyone around you, you are learning that quiet authenticity brings a deeper kind of fulfillment. Your legs have carried you away from places that drained your energy and toward moments that restored your hope, even when you did not recognize the purpose at the time. Every path has offered a lesson, and every lesson has quietly shaped the person you are today. Stay with this, because recognizing these patterns allows you to move forward with greater confidence and a lighter heart. There are still many roads ahead of you, and that should not feel overwhelming. It should feel encouraging. You no longer have to rush toward every destination or compare your journey with someone else's. You are free to take each step with intention, knowing that growth is not measured by speed, but by the depth of your character. The quiet confidence you have been building is becoming one of your greatest strengths. People may notice a calmness in you that they cannot explain, but you will know it came from every unseen moment when you chose hope over doubt and perseverance over discouragement. Don't miss what comes next, because the final part brings together the deeper meaning behind everything you have been reflecting on. Before this part comes to a close, take one gentle breath and remember that your journey has never been about walking perfectly. It has always been about walking sincerely. Every ordinary step has carried extraordinary meaning because it has shaped the person you are becoming from the inside out. You are not defined by how quickly you arrive, but by the love, patience, and quiet resilience you bring with you along the way. Hold that thought close as you prepare for the final part, where this message will come together with calm clarity and leave you with a lasting reminder that your path has always held purpose, even in the moments that seemed the most ordinary.